Welcome to Let's Get Dumb, the podcast where I, comedian Joe Kilgallen and comedian Jonah Jerkins, like to ask dumb questions, tell dumb stories, make dumb lists, and just have a dumb old time with you. Jonah and I are fucking giggling already. I said something funny off air, and it led right to the damn intro, like a real professional over
Yeah,
here.
it made me feel disappointed because it's not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say different things. Let's let the listeners, the viewer, hello, YouTube, behind the curtain here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to say is probably going to push down our YouTube fucking, because, YouTube's become... You say one little thing, and they're just...
Yeah, new rule here. Hello. There's a new rule here. We learned that if you say the F word 4 times in a 15-second period, your video will get flagged.
All right. I'm not going to even say it then.
Oh. It's for demonetization.
And we're not monetizing anyway.
So go
Well,
ahead.
how about this? I mean,
my regular channel
I think we already...
and I get screwed over by content all the time.
Well, I think people know what that word's going to be. So you can just say... You can
I'll say
abbreviate
fudge.
it. Fudge.
So usually when we're about to start the podcast, I'll say different things. Like I think I've said before, like, let's do this shit, or...
You have said, yes, Jonah, you do look fat.
Yeah, I said that once. Time to cook the bacon, time to make the donuts or something. And this time I said, all right, let's do this. Let's fudge. You guys want to fudge? Let's fudge. Mm-hmm. And then I think that's what I said, right?
You did. But then you said that, and then with not even skipping a beat, you went straight into your intro.
Yeah. But
so
your laughter made me laugh.
Yeah. So you didn't give me a chance to just kind of laugh that out for a second.
Well, there you go. Well, how are you, Jonah?
I'm good. Yeah,
we're going to start off by plugging. We're going to do we're campaigning now.
It's campaign.
Here's the campaign. I'll share the link in the show notes on wherever you watch or listen to the podcast. If you watch on YouTube, the link will be there. Austin, our producer, who's the man, will share that there. Mm-hmm. And what it is there is a local comedy magazine called The Comedy Gazelle.
Right.
It's local to Chicago, but they get national interviews and stuff like that. They have Doug Stanhope. They've had some big names and stuff like that where he interviews them, and it's great. It's comic
Fantastic.
Jerry Hotomy runs it. It's a wonderful source, and it's got great interviews and good comedy insight. If you're a stand-up comedy fan, check it out. You'll love it. They decided to do some Chicago Comedy Awards, and this is the 3rd year, I believe, they're doing it. And this podcast, Let's Get Dumb, is nominated for Best Chicago Comedy Podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right? We would love it if our listeners would vote.
Please do.
Help us.
Help us out.
We want to win this damn award.
Yeah.
I want a trophy behind me, or a
I
plaque,
want a trophy
whatever
too.
they give.
Give me a trophy.
And I am also nominated for Best Comedy Special, which is Life and Death, which you could watch on YouTube. I hope you guys check it out. It's only 32 minutes long. Give it a whirl. Thank you with the golf clapping. I love it. So if you guys could vote for that, we will love you so much for it.
Good news, Joe, is I've secured the rights to Love and Death, and I will be releasing the full edit on the launch of our Hog Squad app.
Oh, very good.
The Hog Squad dating app. We went through many rounds of many rounds of investors, and I'm also happy to say that we are going to be on Shark Tank for kids on the Disney Channel, which I'm pretty excited about. So I think they have a different idea what Hog Squad means, but that's going to be fun and interesting. So
the special is called Life and Death, you dickhead. Not Love and Death.
Oh, okay.
Love and Death would be a good title for a follow-up, though.
Well, Love and Death is the unedited version.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
right.
The director's cut.
There we go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Director's commentary.
Yes.
Wow.
It includes your set because you opened for me on that.
I did.
You're one of the openers. You and Lisa Traeger. Mike Leibovitz was the host. What a great fucking lineup.
Great
Joe,
lineup.
you should re-release your special, but you should do commentary over it.
I should. That'd be fun.
Like whispering, in the DVD.
I thought of that joke.
Yeah, I would watch that so many. That'd be so fun.
I do have the full hour version on punchup.live, everybody. Check. If you go to joekilgallen.com, it brings you right to my punchup.
It's not punchup.live, everybody. It's punchup.live.
Yes, punchup. If you go to punchup.live, everyone, you will see it there. It's a great comedy platform that I was one of the first 15 to 20 comedians on there. Now there's 50.
Really?
And they're all huge. They're all way bigger than me. I'm I guarantee you I am the loudest guy on that totem pole, but I'm happy to be in the company.
What you should do is you should do a storyteller's version of it where you right before you go into your joke, it freezes and then it cuts to you and then you're just okay, in this next story, let me tell you something. So this is about my dad's death, right? And this, he's smoking a pipe.
Yeah, smoking a big pipe. Yeah.
I've never smoked a pipe before, as most people haven't. I wonder how you even go about doing that.
I
We're talking
believe
like an old school pipe, like that, like a rich guy from the 1920s would rock.
out of all of the things to smoke, it's the only smell I don't mind. So I know that. So I look at it finally, and I feel like you have to hold it like this, and you make this sound.
Yeah. Stop it. Everyone's crashing in their cars.
Well, that's that's all I know. Yeah. When's the last time you saw somebody smoking a pipe?
What minute marker are we at in this podcast?
I'd say 6.
I'm going to be very curious if we see just a complete drop off after Jonah going.
Yep.
Well, you're also
I will
not doing
get the
it. So
Well, I didn't want to do it. It's gross, man.
is it?
I don't like it.
Why don't you like that?
I just don't like the sound. Do you like it, Austin?
I don't even hear it really.
Oh, you
from
can't even
where
hear
I
it?
am.
What's
Yeah.
the
So you're
sound
gonna
that?
hear it.
What's the
We should
sound?
do top 5 most annoying sounds. By the way, I didn't even tell everyone we're doing top 5 celebrities we want to get drunk with.
Because we just got drunk with our family.
Yeah, it was Thanksgiving last week, so we did a Thanksgiving episode. Two of our friends almost fought each other.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there for it, but I heard the story. You were there for it, but you didn't notice what was going on.
Did you drink with your family this year?
I mean, I have a couple of beers at Thanksgiving, but I didn't go out to the bar with them or anything.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to single somebody out. But who's your favorite family member to drink with? Of all time too. It could be
All time.
somebody that's passed.
My brother Sean. He's not passed. He's alive. Thank God. He's good to drink with. I don't know. It's like a tie between a lot of my cousins. I've got a lot of. We used to get really drunk on Thanksgiving. All the cousins would get together and go to like someone's house or apartment.
Get real drunk.
Yeah,
And there's
we play flip cup and beer bong
nice.
and loud music, dancing, singing, just being fucking crazy.
And you guys are pretty close in age.
There's a
cousins?
range where of my grandma's on my dad's side. So my grandma had 18 grandchildren.
Oh my God.
Because we'd go to my grandma's house for dinner every Sunday until she passed away in 2002. And her oldest grandson, my cousin Brian, was born in 1979, and her youngest, my cousin, is it Emily or Sean? My brother Sean or Emily, it was 1997. So from 79 to 97, so it's 18 years. 18 grandchildren were born. So, and the younger cousins came on late to party with us.
Yeah.
Where the older cousins were starting to fade a little bit, but we've had some epic parties where like a couple cousins were like 16, 17 getting drunk.
Oh,
with us.
nice.
Yeah, good time.
Did you ever drink with your dad or your mom?
I would never want to drink with my mom. No. My dad.
That makes me want to ask more questions, but I won't.
Why would you want to? No, I'm sorry. There's some family dynamics that just are weird to me.
Yeah.
Who wants to get drunk with their mother?
Yeah. Okay.
That's
that makes
weird.
sense.
I like my mom. I'll go out to dinner with her.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get drunk with her.
Do you think that that's like a son mother thing?
Yeah, because I just feel like there's certain relationships like I'd never want to get drunk with my grandma, and I love my grandma to death. But I don't want to get drunk. Why?
Do you think it's a gender thing? Because like if you were, would you think would it be weird if one of your sisters got drunk with your dad when he was still around?
Maybe. I don't know. I've been to family.
Do you
parties.
not trust yourself around your mom? Gonna get a little
I
handsy?
knew you were gonna go fucking weird with it, Jonah, because you always do. But no, it just feels like there's
I could see that though.
parent. They're an authority.
Okay.
Your parents are an authority.
Yeah.
Right. And I know when you get older, I've got a lot of friends who are like, yeah, I'll drink with my old man and stuff, as they say. But I just never really had that. At family parties, there'd be people drinking.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was never like, hey, Dad, let's go to the fucking bar at the
never did that?
corner. No, never.
I never did that with my parents either. Have you ever gotten drunk with like a significant other's parents?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, that's normal. You're the weird one for asking the question.
So I don't think I am.
I don't know.
I'm gonna ask you. I don't think I am because
maybe.
I thought that too. Like I didn't know that, and then because I never drank around my. Well, also my mom was a recovering alcoholic, so like my family never really drank like ever. At least I don't remember them drinking much, right? When my mom was around, because I think it was out of respect for her.
Yeah, probably.
For that, right? And then never drink around my dad. I'd have a couple of drinks like later on in the years, but I always thought that was weird because of the same reason you said. And then all of a sudden I started dating like as an adult. And then it was like we would just go out with the parents and just get fucking I've blacked out in front of so many girlfriends' parents. It's like
I've been drunk around them at weddings and stuff and family parties, I guess.
I'll go out and drink with them.
I've never thought it's Friday night, let's go out and get not
Never?
at all.
Okay.
No, I mean, you're right though. Maybe I'm it sounds like I'm in the minority.
But I was with you too. See, I thought the same as you did. I did. And then once I started dating around, I was like, you get drunk with your parents? And my girlfriends are always like, I get annihilated with my mom all the time. And I'm like, you do? I always thought it was weird too.
It's
like
weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like people who hang out with their neighbors. What are you doing?
Yeah. Hey, Joey.
Hey, Joey.
Hey, Joey. Come over here a little bit.
I don't. I got into a thing about this on Thanksgiving because everyone was convincing me, no, you want to be friends with your neighbors. When you're out of town, they can pick up your mail. You can do this. I go, look, I'm friendly with my neighbors. When I see them, I go, hi. That's the extent, though. I don't want to cross that street and have to have chit chat every time I need to go run an errand because I see you. I don't want that.
I have the same problem because I've never lived in I've never been friends with people in my building really so much. And then the building I'm in now, and I do a bit about it, but the building I live in now is like, this is the first time I've actually like kind of drank with them. And they're like a lot of, because we have like a happy hour during the summer, like every month or something. And they're actually a lot of fun. It's actually kind of nice.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just have enough friends. I have too many. Game's locked.
Yeah.
You know?
Jonah, don't your neighbors hate you? Or is it these neighbors?
These neighbors don't. I don't think they do.
Oh.
I'm sure they have some problems because I definitely.
Your other set of neighbors don't like you, though, right? Based
Oh,
on
my
the
neighbors,
story-
like where we tape now, oh, they hate me.
Okay.
I've gotten letters. They hate me. But the people in my building, you know why? Because people in houses aren't fun. And they've lost their child inside of them, right? And most people, maybe not where you live, but around here they do.
No, I mean, a lot of people start to become weird with that stuff.
Yeah.
I told you, did I ever tell you I got into this? I think told this on this podcast. I'll tell it again, listeners. I was walking my dog and just, not in the mood for it. My dog is a female dog, so she pops a squat to pee. So she just goes, starts peeing. You can't really see it coming. You're walking, she stops, starts going. And this guy comes out on his step, on his front stoops there, I guess, and was just like, hey, why she gotta do that on my lawn? And I'm like, dude, it's just pee. She's not pooping, she's peeing. And then he's like, still though. And I'm like, it's dog pee. Why do you care, man? And then before he could say anything, I'm like, we have squirrels and bunnies on this block. I'm sure they're pissing too.
Yeah.
Do you get out and fucking shoot them? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And I actually said that, and he was like, yeah, I'll shoot them. And I'm like, all right, dude. And then he said something else, and this is what I said back to him, and I guarantee it's fucked up his month. Not just his day, his whole month it fucked him up. Guy's like 78, and he's yelling something, and I go, hey, go to fucking bed. And it was like 3 p.m.
Oh, wow.
You tell someone to go to bed at
Yeah.
3 p.m, they're not coming back from that.
What'd they say?
He said like, I'll fucking beat your ass and all this shit. I'm just like, dude, I think I said too, I'm like, I'll punch you in the chest once and you'll die. I actually felt bad because I don't walk that way anymore. I haven't walked past that house since.
Yeah.
Not because I'm afraid of the guy. I just don't want to get into it because later that night, I'm like, I was totally in the wrong.
Yeah.
I was an asshole. I was the bad guy.
Is there any other like top 5 responses that you said to somebody like that you're like, that was good?
I've had some good ones over the years, man. You're putting me on the spot a little bit. That one's tough to beat. Just because it's so funny to tell someone to go to bed.
I know. So
especially when you're 40 years younger than them or whatever.
Yeah. So I'll give you a second to think about it because the first thing that pops in my brain, which I don't think I've ever said on this podcast, is I was at a bar, late night bar, like 4 o'clock in the morning with this guy, and he just like, at that time you kind of meet a lot of people. This guy was just drunk out of his mind, and he like would not stop groping me. He was like grabbing my dick and grabbing my ass, and like I was just like, okay, he's like, drunk or whatever, and he's with some girl or something, and then he starts like kind of like saying some shit to me. We get into some type of altercation, and then he says something about his girlfriend. I go, your girlfriend? I was like, dude, you're grabbing up on my dick all fucking day. So don't tell me that you're not fucking gay. You got some issues. Or like what? I was like, be true to yourself, man. Like just be true to yourself. And he goes, and then he goes, no, I am gay. And I go, oh yeah, that's okay. That's cool. That's great, man. That's awesome. Like I was like, I'm not making fun of you because you're gay, like at all. And then he goes, yeah, but like you want it. And I go, no, I don't, dude. I go, I don't fucking want it. And I go, dude, I don't know what your issues with me, but like I don't. Just leave me the fuck alone. And he says something like, of course you want it. You want this. And I go, and then I just looked at him and I go, maybe if you did 30 push-ups and ran around the block a little bit, I'd be more intrigued. And then he goes, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? And then I pinched his breast and I said, you know exactly what that means. And then he was like, what the fuck? And he ended up getting kicked out because I just fucked with his head so much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he was like, I was just like, yeah, work out a little bit more. But if you just think you can get some, if you're gonna convert me, you better look like fucking Jason Momoa. Like,
so poking at a gay man's weight is the equivalent of telling an old man to go to bed.
I think so too.
It's right on par.
Agree.
That's probably what inspired you to think of that story. I remember that story.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything specific, but I do remember one time an altercation at a carnival of all places. These two dudes were saying something, And then I walked up because my friends were already getting into it with them. And I walked up going, yo, what's going on? And I made it sound like I was like, yo, what's going on? But I was just kind of like, hey, what's going on? And they were like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, who the fuck am I? I'm Joe Kill fucking Gallon. And then the guy, my friend thought it was funny, but then someone said something else. And I'm like, oh, I'm also the guy that's going to beat the fuck out of you in front of your little girlfriends right here. So I think I'd keep walking.
Nice.
And I like the idea of saying that. That's
keep walking.
Keep walking's a good one. But the idea of like, I'll beat the fuck out of you in front of your little girlfriends here. And they were men.
Yeah.
They weren't girls.
Yes.
I called the men girls. Do you see why that's hilarious,
Yes,
Jonah?
I
don't think you're fucking appreciating it,
I did. I appreciated
Austin,
it.
shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, Austin. Shut the fuck up, Austin.
I'm sorry, man.
Joey.
I'm sorry, buddy. It's a good segue out of things because we got to get into the crux of the episode here. But Austin had a little health scare and he's feeling better now.
Yeah, I had big balls.
He had big balls. Are you on the mic? Can they hear you? All right, good. Scary, but you're fine.
Yeah. There's theories that some people that I know think it's allergic reaction, but they assured me it wasn't.
To what?
Just so people are clear, you legitly had a swollen testicle.
Yeah, I had Thanksgiving dinner, which was the leftovers. We were in the middle of playing a board game, and about an hour into that, my right ball got massive. Like, it felt like I lost circulation in my legs.
Did you feel that, like, happening while it's happening?
It just happened. I just was like, oh, I'm sitting weird. I can't feel my body. And then I moved and went, oh, my ball hurts. And then I went, I'm like, oh. And then suddenly it then spread to my left ball immediately. And then my left tendon and leg went numb. Like, it felt like I ran 5 miles suddenly. Like,
How big we talking? Like, okay, tell me when to stop. How big?
I'm talking like it's big enough.
Shut up. Really? No way. What? Get the fuck out of here. What? What? No way. This big?
It was a
Shut up.
It was
that
the size
big?
of a healthy of a little apple,
Like an avocado? Oh.
like a cutie, like
So
two
what, like,
cuties.
How many
of
times?
course they are.
Nice.
So like 3 times the size of your regular ball?
Yeah, like it was enough that like I had to like spider walk to
Ooh.
like comfortably walk,
Could
and
you
like
sit
walking
down?
up the stairs, they would like jump. Like it was, I couldn't wear pants normally because it was pushing my penis so far forward. It like you would see it all. So I had
Yeah.
to like.
Did you say, mm?
I said like, mm-hmm.
I think we were like, mm.
No joke. That was what you
Let's
did.
talk about that.
Yeah, but then it went down. They did ultrasound, so someone ultrasounded my balls. They put the.
I've
gel-
had testicular ultrasound before.
It was good.
It's like a warm gel.
Yeah,
was
104
good.
degree gel.
Did you look at the screen as they were doing it?
No, they didn't show me.
Oh, see, they had a screen where I could look at it, but then I glanced. I'm like, I don't want to look at that because in my head, I'm like, first of all, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do is freaking myself out, you know. And I didn't look at their face because what if they have? I do a stand-up bit about this. I just remembered, but I didn't want to look at her face because I'm like, what if she's a bad poker face?
Yeah.
Because like the girl who was doing it, I remember thinking like, what if she's just like, ew, like you know, in her
Yeah.
brain.
No, they were probably impressed by mine because they're huge.
I'm sure they've seen swollen nuts before.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't get they just like silently took pictures and they're like, yeah, you'll hear it back in an hour or so. And I was like, oh, so that's not good. They didn't say anything right away. And no, but yeah, they did that. Then they did a CAT scan, and then they were
You're
like,
fine.
no blood clots.
Well, here, CAT scans are weird. Not to cut you off, Jonah, there.
Yeah.
But CAT scans are weird because did it feel like European?
Yeah, it is cool.
It's cool, but weird. They do. Have you ever had a CAT scan?
No.
So they kind of warn you. They like draw blood and they do a thing, and then you go in there and they have your arm above your head, I
Yeah,
believe.
you're supposed to put both hands above your head.
Yeah, and then they like tell you, hey, we're going to inject you with like this dye so I can see the images, and it's going to feel like you're urinating. Trust us, you're not.
Okay.
Everyone thinks they are, you're not. And I remember being like, I'll know. And then as I was going into the thing, being like, I am pissing all over the
Yeah.
place. They lied to me.
And they're
but
like,
I
Joe,
wasn't.
you are.
Yeah, I wish they would have. They'd be like,
You do know your body
they'd be
well.
like, you bastard, we have to clean this up now. Fucking rude.
I was so worried. So we got a text or group chat, the three of
Oh,
us.
yeah, sorry.
I got a text at like 8:30, 8 in the morning from him, whatever. And then the issue is, we won't get too into it, but Austin's had some health scares in the past. And yes.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm shaking my head because I feel sad for him.
I know, me too. I know.
Poor
Poor
bastard.
I was
poor
hoping
Austin.
they were going to be related and we could find information about the first one. But
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they
yeah.
weren't. And I was like, God damn it.
Because it's all been somewhat mysterious. I didn't hear back, and I was like having to get myself ready to get that phone call. And I was legitimately like, I was at the gym and I was practicing being like, Austin's dead? Like I was like, do I cry or do I act like it's all right? Okay, man. I'll make some phone calls.
Well, I knew he wasn't going to die, but I did find the text message. Austin sent a text at 7:30 this morning. It was worded a little weird because you said I have an emergency appointment, and I'm
Yeah.
like, typically you don't have an appointment for the emergency
That's
room,
what
but
they
you
call-
meant urgent care appointment is what I
No,
think
that's
you
what
meant.
it was at the emergency room. So
Really?
I was at the emergency room and they said we want to make an appointment to do an ultrasound on your leg because I guess they closed so they didn't have time to do my leg.
Oh, okay.
So
the
they
hospital's
made it,
closed,
It
yeah.
literally on my thing said ER appointment, ultrasound leg. So it was an ER appointment. But I understood if I put that, it would mean it was important, but also it was appointment. So I'm not like didn't get a car.
For me, I was like,
crash.
I got you,
for
yeah.
me, I was like, he's just so rushed and nervous. He meant to say just emergency room, and he thought that like visit went appointment, and I was like, oh my god, that poor guy. And then it's like,
I like how you think that in an emergency I would text you guys.
That's a good point.
well, I
Look
also
at us. We're so
Yeah,
like.
I know.
Well, I just thought you're such a goddamn pro. You didn't want us to be like, where is he?
He goes,
Yeah, no.
he goes. I thought he was saying, "Hey, I had it." Like, to me, the text read, "I had to go to the emergency room this morning." And then you worded it like, "If I have to go under," it sounded like if I might have to go underneath a emergency procedure. So, and then he goes, "I might be a little late to doing the podcast." And in my head, I was like, "You can skip a day, bud.
Yeah.
if you're getting
No, I'll come
surgery."
home.
Could you imagine him coming in with like the IV unit and like gown, being like, "All right, let me set up the podcast for you guys."
No, Joe can picture that.
And Joe's
I
just
can,
like, "Why
I've
are you
seen
late?
it.
You're late."
No, they were looking for blood clots. So if they need to do blood clots, they would have immediately had to rush me into the ER, is what they said.
Right.
So that's why I was at the ER already. Just in
Yeah,
case.
blood clots would be interesting though, because it's like you weren't on like some 20-hour flight and you're young enough and your circulation should be fine moving around.
Yeah,
but
they
I know you
thought,
could
like,
get blood
a
clots from
6-hour
other
drive
things,
isn't
too.
bad because I've made that drive like
No, yeah.
20 times now. I'm like, what? And I'm like, I work out so much now. It's like, is it bad that I work out and then sit in a car?
I think I have a pinched nerve in my upper like shoulder here that because every morning I feel it down my arm.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I got to figure something out with that. I don't know what that's related to.
Oh,
Let's
that's.
talk about
Next
me and
week,
my
I'm like,
problems.
Joe passed away last week.
Joe had a heart attack. It was
No
actually
warning.
it was a little heart attack he was
It
having
is.
every
Yeah,
morning.
fingertips getting numb too. It's
Oh
strange.
my God.
I'm not kidding.
Those
You.
are like heart attack signs, dude.
That is like a legitimate self-conscious thing I have is like, how do I handle getting a phone call about somebody dying?
Really?
Because I'm afraid like I don't want to cry too much, or like,
Well, I've gotten those phone
what if I
calls.
don't
They
cry
suck.
and then they're upset? Oh yeah, we've gotten plenty of those calls, and it's always I get so like I better act right, or like when somebody's loved one or family member passes away, I'm always like, how do I text them? Do I not? Like what? I don't.
That's a tough.
I don't know the
situation.
I don't
Yeah.
know the etiquette
protocol.
on that.
the
Yeah,
etiquette,
protocol.
Yeah, it's a tough situation with stuff like that.
You want to hear something really psychopathy that I do? So like anytime I like meet someone, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna know this person, be friends with them. I already like take a couple of days to process like their death. Like I'm like, if they died, and I get sad those days, so that way when their death comes around, I'm actually not sad. So anytime that a family member's died, I never got sad or never cried because I already experienced it like years prior.
Okay,
So Jonah and Joe, you're already covered.
great. What are you gonna say at my funeral?
So I could speak at your funeral, no problem.
Oh, you think
I'm
you're gonna
ready.
speak
I have
at
the
my funeral?
services.
You can
ready.
videotape my funeral. We ain't fucking speaking at my funeral.
What? I want to speak at your
Videotape.
funeral.
You can do
That'd be
God,
awesome.
Mike. That's about it.
I'll act like we're lovers and like gaslight everybody. I'm like, sorry, Jonah made me read that.
Okay,
They're
well,
like, oh, classic Jonah. He's gay.
You know what we should do?
Yeah, you're hired.
We should start in our group of friends. Everyone writes down some really cool shit and puts it in an envelope, but no one reads it. And it's in case I die.
Yeah,
And I want you to tell the world all this cool shit I did that I couldn't admit to while I was alive for potential backlash reasons.
Right.
Like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, how about we
like
do
I
this?
killed a man in Reno
Yeah, why don't we do this? How about
just to watch
how
him
about
die.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that sounds. You should write a song about that.
That'll never play.
How about we do this? Why don't we both write each other's eulogy, and I write it out. Well, for me, I'm gonna have to type it for you because my handwriting's so bad. But then I will hand it to you, hand it to me, and then we read it to the camera. Like it's basically our version of like Che and Colin Joe switching jokes,
I love it.
but we're
Let's-
switching eulogies.
Let's do it for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So, but Joe, I want to say one quick story.
Okay.
Before, because I didn't tell you this,
Clippable.
is that what?
Better be clippable.
That's not the point of the story. But I had a fun experience that happened to me after Thanksgiving. Is Wednesday we go out, we get really drunk. Lisa Traeger was in town, a couple of her friends were in town, and apparently I ordered food. I never got it. I don't remember this at all. But guess what I did? I actually ordered it for Friday at 4 p.m. So I got because I got so drunk I blacked out. I don't remember any of this because I get home from I went to Wisconsin. I took the train home. I knew I was getting home around 3, and I at 4 o'clock I get a like hey, someone's at your door, and I come over and it's a hamburger and a hot dog and cheese fries, and I was like, huh? And then I ordered it and it said from Jonah on it. And then I looked at my app, and I drunkenly pre-ordered food 2 days later for myself.
I like the idea of you being so drunk. You're like, I don't want this now, but I want future me to have a nice little gift.
Because I haven't had time to go grocery shopping, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be hungry when I get back from my family trip.
Where was it from?
It was from Al's Beef.
Oh, okay. Just trying to figure it out.
Nice.
Yeah, trying to figure it out.
That's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah.
That's an all-time drunk move right
Yeah,
there.
because like I came home Thursday morning and I woke up Thursday morning and I was like, fuck, I ordered food last night. I was like, I remember trying to order food last night. And I went downstairs and I'm like, oh God, my neighbors get so mad when I leave it out. And it wasn't there. And I was like, huh. I was like, I guess I didn't. And then Friday at 4:00.
That's awesome.
Like
actually.
clockwork.
I
Yeah.
love that because you were probably thinking, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
What a nice little treat.
What a nice little treat.
You could schedule food that far out.
I didn't know that when you scheduled food, they actually showed up on time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're almost as good as the Postal Service and Back to the Future 2.
Nice
Reference.
Good
I
reference.
like that. Very, very fun pop culture reference there.
So I think
Great
that I'm
movie.
fun. I feel like I'm a fun person to drink with. You're a fun person to drink with.
Yeah, I like the segue there because we were doing top 5 celebrities to get drunk with. This is one, I don't know what made me think of this one because we were talking about Black Wednesday. We were talking about everyone getting drunk beforehand. And I was just thinking about like the movies where they drink a lot and everything. And I'm like, you know what? That's a fun one to do. Let's top 5 celebrities you get drunk with. Doesn't have to be actors. It could be just anyone that's kind of famous. We do have 2 things. They have to be living. And even say they're not a drinker anymore, it's them in their prime.
Yes.
Right? That's what we're choosing here.
So before I got
You
too
know what I mean?
dark.
Like, yeah, like if I'm making a greatest basketball team of all time, I'm not taking Michael Jordan at 62 years old. I'm
Right.
taking him when he was fucking 28. You know?
Right.
All right. So I will kick it off first. Wait, Austin, you want us to do the thing where we name them all? And then, no, we'll do it
So,
and then we'll name them at the end.
I have
Yeah,
a
do it
question.
at the end, yeah,
so
yeah.
question, just so everyone knows. I think we also try to do unobtainable celebrities to hang out with.
I don't
Yeah,
think we have
just
time
famous
for that.
people. Yeah.
Super
Famous
famous.
people.
Huh?
I mean, but Joe's famous enough, he can get anybody he wants.
I thought I was the famous.
Especially when you get that award.
You know it, dude.
Vote.
I've actually had drinks with some good celebrities. So I've been very fortunate and lucky in my life. All right.
Hey, ask me if I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, that football player.
Coach.
Sorry. Yeah.
But all, other people's? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's kind of nice when you get to hang out
You
with
don't have
somebody.
to ask. You could just also state.
Well, I just
people,
want,
right?
I assume that you'd be like, you have too, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I did, but you're just like, yeah, I have. My
Well,
name's
because Austin was saying
Joe
nice shit to
Kilgallen.
me, and I was responding to Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know you love that nice shit, said you.
Who doesn't?
I know. Let me ask this: how about this? Is there any celebrities?
I like how you thought that was an insult.
Any celebrities at their worst or whatever? Who's your celebrities?
Okay, I know you talked about that. So yeah,
Let's say if I was that celebrity and went up to you and I was like, I loved your special. Let's hang out. Who's the one guy, or is there a couple people that you'd be like, no?
there's definitely some people where I remember someone like, have you ever been out and about and someone's like, oh, this famous person's over there, and you're like, yeah, I don't fucking care.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? I feel like,
Or you heard there's such a fucking nightmare.
yeah, or it's like, oh, that's too much. I don't want to fucking deal with your shit.
Yeah, all the stories I heard about Andy Dick, I'm like, I'm good. I don't want to hang out.
I
with
mean,
Andy
is he even a
Dick.
celebrity anymore? That's
Like,
that's
at his
digging.
when he
At his
was.
worst, yeah, I guess. As far as like current people right now goes, I wouldn't want to drink with. There's a lot of musicians that I just feel like Bono.
Really?
Which is
Yeah.
crazy because he's like Irish, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And old school U2, they got some good songs, but I feel like it's just like,
I know
something
they're
that's a
starving,
little
dude. I know.
phony
I know.
about
But I'm
it.
starving now. I'm hungry.
yeah, just too much of that kind of talk.
What do you mean split the check?
Yeah, you cheap fuck.
Yeah, you
Come on,
cheap
man.
fuck.
I don't
What are
know.
we doing?
Like, there's just some people like that where I'm like, nah, I'm not into it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, P. Diddy, you wouldn't want to get fucked up around that guy.
Of course not.
But it's always the people like.
But there was
later.
at one time you were like, I probably would hang out with P. Diddy.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Before the, when we didn't know
It's
better.
always before that you just don't know. But there's
I
some, of course, like Russell Peters. I remember watching the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall, thinking, oh, that dude's cool.
Yeah.
'Cause he was funny in that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, that guy's a fucking weirdo lunatic.
I know.
You know?
Russell Crowe seems like he'd be fun to hang out with, but also seems like you'd be like, yeah, I know you're in a band too. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
feel like it'd be a lot
I'll
of
go
that.
the other way with Russell Crowe. I think celebrities who have gotten kind of chubby over the years and let themselves go a little bit are probably really fucking fun to be around.
I know. He does seem fun to be around.
Because they're probably the most down to earth. He's Australian. I had to put an Australian on my list. I did not put him. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have used him.
Okay.
But like, I haven't seen that. What was that movie he did with Ryan Gosling recently?
Oh, the
The
nice
Nice Guys.
guys.
Nice Guys. I didn't.
Great.
I heard it's great.
Oh,
really
he's
good.
good. Oh, you got to watch it.
He looks like a guy who could throw him back in that one.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I heard he's just like a cool guy now, but back in the day, he used to fucking beat the shit out of people who came up to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's like old tabloids of him in Australia just wailing on people. So, but now I think he's cool.
Yeah,
he's happy.
see?
He's doing
He
Disney
got
movies.
fat. That's why. Back
Yeah.
then he was eating lean so he could be fucking gladiator shape.
She's just
Man.
angry the whole time.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
mind,
dude. If
yeah.
you don't have a piece of cake every now and then, you're going to get real pissed off.
Yeah, I think he's finally like accepted that his music career is never going to take off.
Yeah, I forgot that he was even in a band.
I didn't.
Top 5 celebrities to get drunk with. I'm going to kick us off. My number 5, classic. He's up there in age now, but I bet he's still going to be a good time. Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. One, I think that dude has had such an epic career. It'd be fun to hear about. Has a sense of humor about himself. The dude's like 4'9", right? That's part of the fun. When you're getting drunk with him, it feels like you just fucking give him a big old hug. Like, I love this motherfucker,
Yeah.
right? Because there's some people you want to put your arm around and be like, I fucking love you. Let me tell you
Yeah.
why, you know? So he's got that vibe going. If he's anything like his character in Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you're going to get into some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to just pull out a ham sandwich out of his pocket and you're like, what was that from? It's from a week ago. This guy is fucking crazy. Like, it's be like
Yeah.
cool shit like that, you know?
I bet he smells like soup though.
I bet he smells like Jersey Mike's.
I would prefer that. But that would be kind of cool because he would be like, there's a Jersey Mike's around the corner. I get free unlimited sandwiches. You want one?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, anyone from the cast of Was Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I'd want to put on my list of people to get drunk with. But
Yeah,
I had to
Charlie
choo-
Day
I-
seems
I
fun.
wanted to choose one. I chose Danny DeVito
Yeah.
because clock's probably ticking.
Well, yeah, I know.
Not to be that guy. I hope never. But you know,
Yeah.
he's 80.
Yeah. Is there like a question you always wanted to ask him? Like, did you ever think twins was actually going to work out?
Did.
It did.
I
That's
mean,
what I'm saying.
it's still being
Yeah.
referenced.
Who would've
yeah.
Oh, I
that
thought
Who'd've
you said that maliciously. I'm like, what are you talking about? That movie's super popular.
I mean, like when he's taping it, do you actually think this was going to turn out to be the smash hit it was?
That's what you would ask out of all questions. Ask Danny DeVito.
It's funny. I just had a whole conversation with somebody about twins yesterday.
Oh my
So
God.
it's on the brain.
Who's your number 5?
Andy Samberg.
Nice. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Because he seems like a fun guy.
He seems super fun, and he just seems like he's always. I'm a little worried he'd be running bits too much, but he seems super cool. Like he's got good taste in music. Like he's super funny, and anytime he's on a podcast, I'm always like, I want to hang out with this guy.
What's your favorite Andy Samberg movie?
Pop star.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
is
love
an
that.
underrated movie.
It's a
actually.
very good hit. If that hit wasn't a hit, very good movie.
Yeah, it was not a hit. It should have done better than it did.
Yeah, but I mean, anything that his 2 new videos that just came out are great. Love them. Have you listened to them yet?
No.
The Lonely Island ones?
The Lonely Island stuff was awesome. I think that was a nice stretch for SNL.
And Palm Springs is fantastic. And you know, it's a really great, underrated Andy Samberg movie that not a lot of people know about. Jesse and Celeste Forever, which is an incredible. I think it's an indie film, so it's not like the best movie you've ever seen, but it's just a really good kind of like little rom com.
I got to put that on my list.
Yeah, it's very good.
I don't know
Big
that
fan. I'll loan it to you.
Oh, thank
I
you
own
so
it.
much.
Mhm.
What a good man.
But he seems fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he's like
He's the guy that goes to a dive bar.
Yeah, but he also feels like he'd be on my list of celebrities to get high with.
Yeah.
Like smoking a joint with him would be fun.
Yeah.
Smoking a bowl. All right, my number 4 is the only, I said I was worried about musicians, but this one because he's not really, he's a musician, but he doesn't play guitar as well, right? Those ones get a little crazy, I feel like, and then they might get depressed. So that's why I was like, I'm not going to put a musician on my list. But I do have the lead singer of Oasis, great solo career too, Liam Gallagher. He's got the Irish blood, raised in Manchester, England though. Just a dude who kind of notorious for not being sucked into celebrity culture, even though the tabloids would follow him around. Like he would make fun of his older brother being like, he's off drinking with Bono and people like that. Me, I'm still going to the local pub and just getting fucked up. And there was this great story of some famous chef who I can't remember. He's a famous chef in England. You'd probably know him because you're into chefs and stuff. And he talked about how he had to move because he lived in this one real rich part of London. And Liam Gallagher, when the bar would close, him and another guy would throw a rock at the window, being like, "Hey, make us a sandwich, you prick," like shit like that. And I'm like, that's the guy I want to fucking party with. And then they asked Liam about it on the same show, and Liam was like, "Well, there's no food around there. And we know he's got something in the fridge. Come on, he's a famous chef." So I'm like, I like that thinking. You know what I mean?
That just gave me a reason to not want to hang out with him.
Why was that?
Where it's just like, leave me the fuck alone, man. I don't want to hang out. I have to make you a sandwich now? That's what I have to do?
Well, you don't have to. You and him are throwing a rock at a famous chef's house, and the famous chef has to make you one.
Yeah, if I'm the chef, though, I'm like, are you fucking serious? I do this all day.
Well,
Who are you?
It's a prick move on his part for sure, but pricks are fun to drink with.
This is the most. Can I tell you something? This is
No.
I'm gonna do a new award every time doing these top fives, and that's gonna be the Joe Cogellan no doy choice. Which is like, of course you want to fucking hang out with the head singer of Oasis.
Well, yeah.
I could have. You know what? If you would have gave me, if you would have gave me 1,000 guesses, right?
Yeah.
And you said you have to pick 1,000 different people. Every single guess would have been that guy, because that's all I know would have been guaranteed on that list.
We have the same birthday, September 21st.
No boy.
He's Liam Gallagher is one of the last remaining rock stars and one of the best rock stars of the last 25 years. Got kicked off they got banned from Amsterdam. You know how fucked up you have to be to get banned from Amsterdam for a stretch? Yeah, they got kicked off a ferry. There's this great story of them when they first played in LA. They thought they were doing coke, but it was crystal meth. So they were all fucked up during the whole show.
You want to hang out with this guy?
Yeah, man, it's fun. I'm not saying I want to do crystal meth, but I want to be drunk with someone who's on crystal meth.
Well, that brings me to number 5, Tommy Lee.
That's a good number.
No,
5.
I don't want to fucking hang out with Tommy Lee. Seriously?
For the stories?
Well, okay.
The guy dicked down Pamela Anderson and Heather Locklear. You don't want to fucking have a shot with that guy? I want to salute him.
I went to a concert and Tommy Lee was right behind me, right? I think I mentioned this on the podcast before, but I need to mention it again. And he was, because I was like, what the fuck I smell cigarette. What's going on? And I look over, Tommy Lee's sitting there smoking fucking cigarettes with like these like helpers. And he's like throwing them on the ground. And then he like disappears. And then I go over to the security guy and I go, is that Tommy Lee? And the guy goes, yeah, it's Tommy Lee. And then Tommy Lee, and that's when Tommy Lee leaves. And then I can hear everyone else being like, does he even know any of us? Why is he hanging out with us? And then everyone else was like, was he fun to hang out with? And the guy was like, no, he was the worst.
Because he likes to smoke cigarettes indoors?
Yeah, because he's probably also doing, hey, make me a sandwich.
I mean, first of all,
hey, make me a sandwich.
The guy told the story and Liam told the story in a way that was more like funny.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, throw us down some sausage rolls or whatever they eat over there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the guy thought like, what a fucking ass. It's not like he went in there and said, wake up your fucking wife.
Yeah.
Put on the kettle. I want some food. You know what I mean?
I think when you watched Green Street Hooligans, you were like, I want that life. Like, that's what I want, right?
I want to put a bottle in someone's neck.
Really?
No, of course not. That movie was terrifying.
Oh.
But good movie.
But I feel like you want to be like, I think ideally you'd want to be like a fun kind of like hoodlum, like Train Spotting without the drugs.
Well, I don't want to do heroin, of course. I don't know. There's a fun culture to that little corner of the world.
It does look fun. Have you ever gotten close to that?
Just go to the pub, fucking have some drinks.
Yeah.
Get loud.
Have you ever been close to that? I feel like Chicago's the closest to that.
Chicago is very much like that.
Like Chicago, New York, I feel like the two places that you can get the closest to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just hanging out. You do it. We just hang out with your friends all day, laughing, drinking, having a good time.
Yeah. Well, we had two friends. We had two friends that were, and by the way, I think you have a great choice. I'm giving you shit, but it's just like we had two friends that will become nameless in this story, but who during COVID, like we had kind of our little whatever we hung out, whatever. They came in and then they're like, oh, dude, I had the best night last night. And I was like, what would you do? They're like, oh, dude, we go to my neighbor's place. He left his door open. So we walked in. We just trashed his fucking place, man. And I was like, what? He goes, oh, man. Yeah, it was so funny. We just fucked his shit up and just left. Isn't that crazy? And I was like, you're 35.
Yeah, that's awful. Don't do that.
Okay, thank you.
No,
okay.
Of course that's awful.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Dude, throwing up a rock, though, at a famous chef's house.
I know. No, you're right.
If it was just a regular friend and you toss the rock up and it's like, make me a sandwich, you'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But the gag was that it's like, I'm quoting him when he goes, the boozer was closed. There was nowhere to get food. And it's like, who's got food? Fucking that guy.
Yeah,
he lives right there. Let's go throw a rock. I don't think he was doing it regularly.
And it's kind of nice to have like such a close companionship with somebody like that where you can fuck with them like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought it was a fun story.
Yeah. It's a fun story.
Tight ass over here gets all mad because someone wants a fucking.
I think, you know what I think it is? I think I'm
a turkey sandwich at 3 a.m. He gets all pissed off about it.
I think I put myself in that guy's shoes and then putting myself in how my friends have done that to me. And I'm always like, fuck you, man.
Austin and I are going to do that to you real soon again.
Yeah. If you can find where I am every night, I'll fucking make you a sandwich.
Oh, we can.
How?
Pretty easy. We'll just take guesses.
Okay, it's one of 3 places, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great choice.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry to give you shit. I just like giving you shit. My number 4, Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great choice because it feels like, even though I don't think he is, because he's played a cowboy a lot.
Yeah.
So he feels like a cowboy. Dude's got a soothing voice.
Soothing voice. He's funny.
Funny dude.
So
cool
great
dude.
in Girl Next Door.
Yeah.
Very funny in
awesome.
that.
Oh, I used to quote him from The Girl Next Door all the time because he used to say, this guy, or no, he'd say,
This guy's the tits, man.
this guy's the tits,
This
man.
guy's the fucking
I would
tits,
say
man.
that all the time. My friends would be like, if you're introducing someone to someone else, like, who's that guy? I'm like, oh, that's my buddy Mikey. Guy's the tits.
Yeah.
So awesome.
It's great. Ooh, look at you, Smoke Show. He says that in the movie too.
Yes.
And he's just so funny. But yeah, he also just seems like a cool guy to have a beer with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he seems like a guy that always has a good story. Right?
He was on
Yeah,
The
I mean,
Office.
he's...
What?
He was on The Office for like 5 episodes.
No, Austin, nobody gives a shit.
You know, he was
about
on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Well,
you know,
it just
he's
means
been,
he's cool. He does
know.
other things.
Yeah, he's
you
been
know?
around for a while. He's a little older than you think. He's probably, 55 now? 54?
Yeah, but he
it.
looks
Yeah, he looks
great.
old. He's finally looking old. But
Yeah.
there was a while there where he was like timeless. And he was in Scream too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
he's had a really cool
Once
career.
And he's in
Upon
the
a Time
movie
Hollywood.
Go.
He was in the Tarantino movie as a cowboy.
What movie?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, that's
He
right.
plays the Lancer guy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right, yeah.
And he's in the movie Go. Same
He's
director
in
as Swingers.
A couple Mandalorian episodes too, even.
Oh,
Was he
yeah,
really?
He
Yeah.
was. Oh, he's good in that too.
Yeah, he's fucking
God,
awesome.
he's-
man.
He's kind of everywhere. And he's like a good actor. But he's a good actor, but he doesn't feel like he has to tell you that he is.
No, he's just cool.
You know what I
he
like about
feels very salt of the earth.
Speaking of, and this is why this is in my head because I'm listening to the Lonely Island and Seth Meyers podcast, and I guess Timothy Olyphant is doing a movie with one of the guys from the Lonely Island, and that guy got drunk or whatever. So Timothy's like, "I'll fucking do it for you," and he just joined the podcast and was just fucking around.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, I want to fucking drink with that guy.
And we have a friend of ours who we won't name either. Timothy Olyphant was filming that like reboot season of Justified, which Justified, I didn't see this latest season, but it ran from like 2010 to 2015. Amazing. So underrated.
So
that was like a
underrated.
pretty golden era of great television at the time. And that got lost, but I think that was easily one of the best shows of that era. Wildly underrated. And so when they revived it last year, Timothy Olyphant was living in Chicago. A comedian friend of ours walked his dog.
Yeah.
And so a couple times he got to hang out and talk to him a little bit and said, yeah, guy's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Got to try on the hat.
Oh fuck yeah.
You're really dope.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he just seems like it seems like a guy that you could kind of nerd out with about his stuff, and he's like, yeah, it's cool that I get to do that, right?
Yeah. I like people who are like that.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell the story on the podcast? A friend of mine used to do audience warm up for Conan. And Conan O'Brien would get like a suite when the Dodgers and Cubs were in town. Conan O'Brien and Jeff Garland used to live right by Wrigley Field. Tons of Chicago Cub fan celebrities in LA. So he gets a suite at Dodger Stadium. Jack White, fucking awesome Jack White, is there. And Seven Nation Army gets played, that epic White Stripes song, which they play at Dodger Stadium and every stadium in the history of stadiums. And Conan says to Jack White, oh God, I'm sure you're probably sick and tired of hearing this. And Jack White goes, why in the hell would I ever be sick and tired of hearing 50,000 people singing along to something I've written?
Yeah.
I love this. He goes,
That guy,
I'll never
he
grow tired
almost
of
made
this.
my list, Jack White.
Actually, I'm mad I didn't put Jack White on there.
I get
now.
too nervous to be around him.
I think I have too much respect for him, I think.
I do too, and I don't think he'd like hanging out with me.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think
I'm
we'd
cool
vibe
enough.
well.
I don't think I'm cool enough to hang out with Jack White.
I agree. So, now, I
And
mean,
I'm
I agree
very
about
cool.
myself. I don't agree that with you. I think you're cool.
Thanks so much, man. All right, my
Can I tell
number
you something?
three.
I think that you're too cool to hang out with the guy from Oasis.
Oh, no way, dude. No way. Dude.
Okay.
Come on, man. It's fucking Oasis. My number 3, I had to find a woman, and I definitely wanted an Australian.
Nice.
So it made perfect sense to throw in Margot Robbie
Mm-hmm.
because I have partied with Australians only about 5 or 6 times in my life, and it's always been epic.
Epic.
They're very fun people. They know how to have a good time. They got that whole the expression "no worries" is one of the best expressions of all time. No worries.
No worries.
mate.
No worries.
Yeah.
I just did kind of an accent. Decent, didn't I?
It was not decent.
I was
but-
laughing because it was horrible.
Yeah.
but
in
you
my
did an
head.
accent.
Well, for me, that was good.
Oh,
so
okay.
life's about to change for me.
So I thought about doing like a Hemsworth or
He seems cool as hell to
we
hang
mentioned
out with.
another Australian guy a little bit ago, but I thought, you know what? I got to get a woman on the list because I don't want to be sexist. You could
Yeah.
I have a lot of great times drinking with women.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie in interviews, even though she's one of the hottest women in the world, carries herself like she knows it but doesn't know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm sure she knows,
Mm-hmm.
but she doesn't really seem like that. Because I've seen her in interviews where people have been like gushing, and she's just like, "Oh, calm down. What's up? How are you? Let's talk a little bit. How
Yeah.
you doing?" And she also seems like the type when you're getting drunk, say you're like at a house party and it keeps going, right? Like everyone's still drinking, but there's only like 5 or 6 people still up. She's gonna still be up.
Yeah.
And she's now changed into short shorts and a hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see that.
Yeah.
It's a good look.
Yeah.
So that's why Margot Robbie is my number 3.
Yeah. Yeah. She seems cool as shit. Like she seems like she'd be like, if there's a three you left at that house party and there's like whatever, anytime that the third guy walks away, she's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
And just like kind of talking shit.
Yeah, she'd mock him a little bit.
Yeah, like to him, but like for you.
Yeah.
But she's so good about it, like only you're getting it because the other guy's too drunk and stupid.
Yeah, she would do like friendly flirting too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
She'd touch your arm a lot.
yeah, she'd be good at drinking games.
Yeah.
And talk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want her on your team.
Yeah. That's why like my runner up, who I was gonna put on here, because I was also thinking the same thing, was Charlize Theron, which is kind of like it's a South African version
It's
of
Australian adjacent.
Yeah.
Even though they're not anywhere near each other, but I hear what you're saying.
It's like a South African version of Margot Robbie. It's like it's like she's our generation's Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Or my generation's.
Charlize Theron is an all-timer.
And she just seems like so cool to hang out with. Like anytime she's on an interview too, she's just like, she's hot as shit. But okay, my number 3, Paul Rudd.
Damn, Paul Rudd would have been a good one too. I thought about him. He is so accessible.
Yeah,
that
you
I
seem
feel
like you
we could
forget
get
that it's
drunk
Paul
with him.
Rudd.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
also feel like that's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
Getting drunk with Paul Rudd.
I know. I was thinking about that too, where like he seems like a guy, same thing, kind of what we mentioned before. If you go up to him and be like, hey man, I loved you in this random movie, you'd be like, I don't want to be weird, whatever, like leave your shit. He'd be like, hey man, get a beer with me. And you're like, all right. And then he's like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm a comedian. They're like, you're a comic. That's wild. And then he like want to talk to you about it and then try to find a connection with somebody that you might know together.
Yeah.
He seems like that guy.
I just feel like he kind of plays. I've never heard anything bad about him. There's only a handful of celebrities where you're like, never heard anything bad about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he seems like the type of dude where he's ordering Taco Bell for everybody.
Yes.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean,
Yeah.
He's surprised. You're at a bar that doesn't serve food, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna take care of that right now."
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, DoorDash comes through with like just bags and bags of Taco Bell.
Yeah. He's always got a fix for everything.
Yeah.
And it seems like the guy that you'd hang out with all day and you go to a bar with, and then you like, hey man, you want 2 drinks or something? He's like, yeah. And you go and you get drinks, and the bartender's like, are you fucking hanging out with Paul Rudd? You're like, I am hanging out with Paul Rudd. Like you kind of forget, like, holy shit, I'm hanging out with Paul fucking Rudd right now.
Yeah. Dude's timeless.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 2. I'm glad you mentioned Seth Meyers a second ago because this was inspired off of I love his roles and everything he's done for the most part. There was a great sketch he did with Seth Meyers. I'm talking about Will Forte. Will Forte is my number 2.
Yeah.
I love Will Forte in Last Man on Earth. I
Mhm.
love Will Forte. He was great on SNL. MacGruber is one of the funniest movies of all time.
Of all time.
And they did him and Seth Meyers with these day drinking videos that were just hysterical. So I remember thinking to myself, yeah, Will Forte, he's on the list. I
He
want to
seems
get
cool.
drunk with that
He
guy.
just seems a little weird. Like a little alty weird, where you'd be like, all right, man, like we don't need to run bits the whole time. You know?
I mean, that's a concern with anybody who'd be on SNL or
I know.
anyone who's a sketch comedy background. You got to worry about them getting a little too fucking running shtick.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you could be a person for a second, buddy. You don't have to make every line funny. But I think he'd be okay with that. I don't know why. I don't think.
I heard he's
he
also
never-
like the nicest guy.
Yeah,
too.
I don't think he got big enough in that world. I don't think he got sucked into that, like, look at me shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wouldn't have him there. But also you want to drink with people who aren't exactly like the people you currently drink with.
True.
You know, I'm trying to round out a list that aren't like the people I'm currently drinking with.
Oh, that's good. I think
No
I did
one's
that.
like you on my list.
Oh, nobody is.
How could they? How could they possibly be?
These people on Joe's list have talent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice. Sorry, I said it for you, Joe. I said
thanks,
it for
my man.
I'm just kidding. So
I was gonna hit you.
I was gonna tell you, I was like, you know what? I think I rounded mine off to be like, these would be my boys if I hung out with them. Like I was just like, yeah, it's my crew. Like
You basically just did richer versions of your current friends.
I did. I basically did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one too, because this person reminds me, of a lot of my favorite female friends that I have. Jennifer Lawrence.
Damn, she's a good one, man.
Dude, she's so, first off, gorgeous, but like,
She did full nude in her last movie or 2 movies ago.
I know. So I didn't like that movie, but she is
fine.
she is so fucking funny on interviews and just so like, that's why I was so happy when she did No Hard Feelings, because I was like, oh, finally they just let her be funny, even though that movie, not good. But did you see it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Really?
Yeah, that was all right.
I
It came
thought
out at the right time. It was a 90-minute goofball
That's fine.
comedy.
Yeah, maybe I should watch it again.
I think you went into it with higher.
I did because
expectations.
I adore her so much.
Yeah.
I just think like I would be like Jennifer Lawrence would be like my best man. You know what I mean? Like where people are like she'd like be in like the whole like tux and just be like I love this and then like forget the ring or whatever like that type of shit kind of or like before she gives me the ring she like goes to my wife honks her hooter. You know what I mean? Like
She definitely looks like the type of woman who makes out with her friends for fun at parties.
yeah,
Her
or
female
like
friends.
just like acting like a guy to them just because she thinks it's funny.
Yeah, she'd totally rip ass and be like, "Who farted?
Yeah.
It was me." You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But
Like-
not like in an Amy Schumer way where you're like, "God damn, stop."
Yeah,
You know?
we have a friend that has one of my favorite jokes that I think she would do to us, where she like would walk up, and be like, "Hey, don't go over there. It smells like my fart over there."
That's
Like one of those.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good time.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence.
Good number 2, man.
But could you imagine like us hanging out with Jennifer Lawrence, Charlize Theron, and Margot Robbie?
Can I imagine? It's all I'm gonna imagine.
I know.
Come on, man. All right, so we have our number 1, and good time as any because I think the SIM card's about to go out. Number 1 for me. This is the perfect number 1. It's gonna blow your fucking mind. Number 1, Colin Farrell.
Fuck
Who
you.
I don't even think drinks anymore.
Fuck you.
What do you mean, fuck
That's my
you?
number 1.
That's your number 1?
Yeah.
Hey, that's my number 1. What was I say number 1?
Yeah.
Why'd you choose Colin Farrell?
Because he just seems like cool as shit. He's Irish. He seems like cool as shit. And
I
he's
had to have
like
an
he's the
Irishman in
closest
there.
guy to the guy you were talking about, where he would just start some shit, and you're like, yeah, fucking story time's coming up.
And I know he's not. I think he's recovering. He's a recovering alcoholic. But the point was, you're picking these people in their prime. So like prime Colin Farrell.
What do you think
You
that
know.
was? Around SWAT?
Yeah, probably in that era, like mid 2000s. You know what I mean?
In Bruges?
In
Colin
Bruges,
Farrell area?
so good. Like
When he's
first,
like kind of losing his famousness a little bit, so he's kind of like sunk into it. So it's not in his head anymore.
but what I like about him is like he'd have range as a drinker because he looks from what I gather from interviews, he's funny. He's also insightful.
Yeah.
He's a guy that when you're drinking, you could confess some shit to him. You could lean
Yeah.
on him a little bit. He feels like he's very wise,
Yeah.
especially in his older years. Even though I'm choosing prime him, that was always in there.
Yeah.
He'd unlock it. But I feel like he's got like a little philosopher in him.
I know. I feel like I get really drunk with him, and then like I'd say this a lot. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not in a way that made you feel stupid, just in a
Right.
way that made you go, damn, man, teach me more.
Yeah. Or you'd be like this. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, right. Yeah. I never like, what a great way to put that.
Yeah.
And then you'd say stuff like
we're
that.
Drinking whiskey,
Yeah.
in a bar that's a fireplace.
Or you'd be like, can I use that? Like when you hear something that's kind of like insightful, you're like, can I use that for something else? For somebody else?
I don't know what are you talking about? What?
When someone says something to you and
Yeah.
it's so insightful, but it's like you can use it kind of for a lot of things. You're like, oh man, can I say that to somebody else? Like, can I take that as my own?
Oh, I've never said that to anybody before. That's why you threw me off at that.
Oh, you never?
I didn't know
no
what
one,
you
no one's
meant.
ever said something to you and you're like, fuck, man, that was good. Can I use that?
Why do you ask if you could use it? I don't understand why.
Like, I think someone once said, I said, it's like comparing apples to oranges, but they're all fruit. And I was like, whoa, just come up with that? And then this girl was like, yeah. And I was like, can I borrow that?
Oh, you want to steal it as your own?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I see that.
That's what I mean
Okay.
by that.
All right,
Like, when someone like says something funny and they're like, you
I
can
thought
use that.
like they were giving you advice and you were like, "I use that."
No.
like,
I meant
why-
they say something that's so insightful. You're just
Oh,
like,
I
I want to. Can I pass that knowledge on to somebody else? I guess I should say it that way.
You were saying you want to steal it as your own.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, but
Otherwise you'd be like,
I
"I
would
quote
say
you?"
something and they'd be like, hey man, that was good. I'm like, Colin Farrell told me that.
Oh yeah, that's how you score points with people too.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's just my number 1.
Like, Colin Farrell? I'll be like, Sea Dog? Yeah. Farrell? Oh man, Farrell is Farrell, dude. That cat fucks.
Yeah, I thought about like other maybe Irish actors to put in there because look, obviously I got an Irish background, but most
You do?
people most people feel Irish people are fun,
Yeah.
right? That's
Agreed,
like
yeah.
that's kind of a universal thing. You know what I mean?
Who would?
Like if I'm eating a 7-course meal, maybe I'd throw in a few Italians because they seem to know food really
Who's
well.
the Mount Rushmore of Irish that you want to hang out with?
That's a whole nother podcast. I'd want to hang
Ewan
out.
McGregor be up there?
He's
They're
Scottish.
Scottish, though.
Scottish. I'd want to hang out with the Kneecap Boys, Liam Neeson,
Liam Neeson.
Lucky Charms guy.
Colin Farrell, the Lucky Charms Leprechaun, which they don't even
Yeah.
have Lucky Charms in Ireland. At least it wasn't there when I was there.
Yeah.
Brendan Gleeson's fucking cool. Cillian Murphy.
Mm,
The thing is, Cillian Murphy seems so serious, though. That's why I didn't think about him as a guy I'd want to drink with.
yeah.
You know?
You'd have like a nice little bourbon with him and just listen to what his thoughts are.
Yeah. What about the new It Boy, Paul Mescal? He's a star
yeah.
player
He
too.
is
He seems too-
Irish,
he seems
yeah.
too
He's Irish.
Barry Keoghan.
Barry Keoghan's big star
He
now.
seems cool.
He's
cool.
hooking up, or he's dating Sabrina Carpenter, who's the big pop star at the moment. One of the
That's
big pop
cool.
stars. Yeah, I mean, there's Michael Fassbender would be a cool one.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, but he'd be like, "Hey, do you want to see my dick?" And I'd be like, "No, it's big. I know. I get it."
Oh,
Like-
God. This reference again. I forget what
He's
movie
referenced
this
every
is.
time we
He's
brought up Michael
referencing Michael
Fassbender.
Fassbender's cock.
He brings him up his dick.
I mean, don't be shameful, guys.
I've never seen his dick.
Yeah, that's what it's
Huh?
called.
I've never seen the movie where he's nude.
Oh, shame. I never
It's
saw it
called
either. I
Shame?
just heard about it. a
Oh,
lot.
that's what you were referencing. I
Yeah,
see.
the movie Shame.
So you got to remember, Jonah, you see way more movies than the average
I
person.
know. I
So
retain a
you're-
lot of them.
You're throwing these movies out there, and I don't know them.
Yeah,
And then I think, man, I got to watch more movies. But then it's kind of like,
Joe. I mean,
The fuck is he in the
what's
movie
your
Shame?
excuse? What are you, a father?
but these are like very obscure. Some of these movies, right?
Yeah, Shame. Is
Shame had its moment
So
though
you're
because
like
of
he was
that.
naked. I'm like, I don't. So Magneto got
one-
naked.
Yeah, no one talks about that.
It's great, man. I love that. As a reminder, listeners,
Do you think Magneto? Do you think if you had a cock ring, Magneto would make your dick pop out of his pants all the time?
that's what we
Do you think he'd be like, Magneto, stop doing that? He's like, no, do what? He pops it out again.
top five superheroes in which we would manipulate their powers for sexual gain, right?
Nice.
That's a Patreon
top
one.
five.
Let's do that
That's
for
a
Patreon.
We'll do that for the Patreon. Right now, everybody, the Patreon is it's patreon.com/Joe Kilgallen, but in parentheses, it's Let's Get Dumb, or it's Let's Get Dumb, Joe Kilgallen in parentheses. I have only a couple behind the scenes Let's Get Dumb clips on there. The rest of it's all my shit, whether it's blog entry type stuff or just other podcasts, but we are going to add more to it. The reason it's not its own Let's Get Dumb podcast, it is Let's Get Dumb, but like we talked about this, it's like I don't want to charge the 8 people that are on my Patreon right now more money to switch over. So I feel like they should be fucking grandfathered in, especially since it's guys like Chad McDaniel and
Those
TJ.
guys are sweet.
Good dudes.
Yeah,
Yes.
good guys.
All right.
But
don't
you know, it
forget-
sounded like you're taking money from us. The way that you, it
No,
sounded like I was
only-
like, the way that you answered was, I was like, hey Joe, I noticed these charges. Where do those go? And you're like, well, you see, so. Okay,
No,
so
there's
there's time zones, right? And then okay, so gas is obviously right, and eggs are expensive. But so like that's what it sounded like.
No, the only two behind the scenes Let's Get Dumb clips were from way back when,
Yeah,
when
we're
we
still working
started
on it.
recording. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know what we need to figure out. I'm just letting you guys know what the behind the scenes clips were from that I used, because that way to make it clear that I've not stolen any money, because it's 99.9% of my content on the Patreon. Just to put that out there.
Just saying, nobody thinks that.
You just said that. Actually.
No, I said the way that you responded, it felt like
okay.
that you felt like you were being accused that you might have been doing something wrong, but you are not doing anything wrong.
I did not.
Is my point.
Oh, okay. Well,
But if you were a witness on the stand, I'd be like, God, his ass.
yeah. Don't forget, everybody, we are up for 2 awards in the Comedy Gazelles. We will share the links in the subscription. What am I saying? The description of the episodes on both anywhere you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. So you could vote. Follow us on Instagram. We shared it on Instagram. That's simply Instagram.com/Let's Get Dumb. We got a new logo. It's animated. Thank you to producer Austin for putting that together, and for Jonah for navigating that as well. And what else do I want to mention? Yeah, so vote for us there. It goes a long way. Spread the word. And yeah, we're going to finish out the year strong. We got a couple Christmas episodes coming up for you. It's gonna be good times here on Let's Get Dumb. Thanks for listening. We both did that in unison. Oh, look at us.
Yeah.
All right, let's start this bitch. You guys ready to fuck? Let's fuck. 1, 2, 3.